Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for bearing with me through my posted video with the cat in the net driving me bonkers. I just wanted to get something posted, get back out there, and I just had to jump and get it done. So now hopefully it's all up from here, right? Let's get started. I have a few things on my desk, and yesterday, or my last video I should say, I started or attempted to start with this journal that I picked up at the Louvre when I went to Paris, I guess a year and a half ago now. The time is really going by. But let me do a quick segue and say these are my underpapers. I got this idea from Willow Wanders, and I know when I was looking at her art video, I was like, what is that under her books? Because you know, most of us, we have like this mat or a mat of some type, but she uses what she calls underpapers, as I mentioned if you didn't see my last video. And then after she finishes whatever wonderfulness that exists here, she uses it for collage fodder or to make pages in her journal. And so as you're braying, you can just clean off your brayer. So hopefully that is not distracting. But this is the book that I was going to put some paint in during my last video, and I sat down and I had no paint. So this morning before work, I just got up and got some paints out and just put some paint to paper. And I love how this book absorbs the paint. It just feels so good. And in the midst of that, my cat Nana knocked over my cup of coffee and spilled the coffee all over my desk. And I was about to feel just beyond annoyed. And then I remembered, you know what? I have this wonderful paper. I will take this as an opportunity. And that's just what I did. I just took the book and I just dipped it in the coffee like this. I thought if my husband comes in and sees me doing this, he's going to think I'm crazy. But I just did that until I absorbed the bulk of what was spilled. And I just came behind that and got my heating tool out and dried the pages. And isn't that beautiful? I cannot tell you how much money I spent at the beginning of my journey on something that would look like this in terms of being coffee dyed. So I only did a few of the pages, and then I did, if you can see, around the edges. But isn't that gorgeous? I think that is going to be so pretty as I begin to work through the book. So definitely don't want another spill all over my desk, particularly not into my keyboard, as occurred this morning. But it turned out to be what Bob Ross would call a happy accident. So for that, I am grateful. And it just inspired me. I moved on from this journal to, I picked up this Dina Wakley art journal off my shelf. I have reorganized my craft room, my center of peace, so many times throughout the years. I've been doing this for, I guess it's been about 5 years now. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that many years have passed since I went down this happy rabbit hole. But I decided to put all of my art journals in one place, and I'll do a tour of my craft room in the coming days. Put all of my art journals in one place, all of like my travel journals, my junk journals. So, you know, if the mood strikes me to do something, I'm not searching all over for a particular book. I can just look in a section, and that is already, it's winning. That approach is winning for me already. But I picked up this book that I started in 2021. I think I found a date on one of these pages somewhere. And when I first got introduced, and this was in 2020, when I first got introduced to art journaling by my girlfriend Candace, and I was really proud of my little pages, and it just felt so good to get started again. So I put a little paint on these pages, And then did this morning after I worked in the other book. Silence and peace are different. And I just love her facial expressions. She's processing something, not quite sure what. And I'll come back to this and kind of try to push this picture to the back a little bit and do a little bit more playing, but felt good to just get started in this journal again. As you can see, I haven't worked in it in years, but now that, you know, all of my supplies are just in a different system. I won't say a better system, because every time I do it, I feel like I cracked the code, but it's a good system for now. So Meg Journals has a video today, and she brought out her junk dory. I saw it, a little one, in her video of showing things that she had in her bag, and I was like, oh, I forgot I had that from Grace and Salt Ink. And then to my surprise, she's back. Rebecca's back, so I'm happy for her. I love her product. She's a very, very nice lady that I had the pleasure of corresponding with many years ago. So again, I went to my section, found my junk dory that I only played in very minimally over the years, but I have a couple of things, I guess, that I did in the book. You know, listen, this is not Michelangelo's, however you pronounce his name. Michelangelo? Yeah, this is not his work. This is not the Sistine Chapel, which is absolutely beautiful by any stretch of the imagination. But it's, you know, it's what art journaling and creativity is. It's just whatever you have in your heart and mind at the time. And that made me think, I may want to play in this. It's so odd. When I saw it online on Instagram at that time many years ago, I was like, oh, I have to have it. And I do love it. But when it arrived, I felt stuck. I really didn't know what to do with it. And honestly, at that time, I don't think I was really heavy into art journaling. I was more into junk journaling. And this is a little bit of both. But I thought that maybe I would just pull this out today and do a little playing. I have a couple of things here to aid me in that endeavor. And that's my little handy dandy tin with stickers on them. And in this one, I just have, you know, some of the little smaller pieces that I can use for journaling and for art journaling, just to do some quick collage and add a little bit of interest on the page. And let me say this, in organizing or reorganizing my room, I just was like, oh my Lord, I pray that if my husband ever gets inspired to just, you know, come say, hey, what is all of this stuff in here, and starts to look through some of the things that I have spent our hard-earned money on, I pray that he continues to be, you know, supportive and excited about this, what is this that I like to call it, this creative outlet that I have, because I have truly, you know, I have bought some crazy stuff over the years from our community. You know, back in the early Instagram days, you know, you'd have people on Saturday mornings. They would have gone to antique shops and picked up all kind of like vintage stickers and not stickers, but stamps, vintage stamps. I have bought vintage stamp books from people. They would have like vintage flashcards. I bought a stack of cards that had like not so nice words on them. I don't know who took the time to laminate those, and I don't know what I thought that I was going to do with those cards. I've purchased, you know, everybody was just over the moon for these like tickets, you know, these antique tickets, some green bus service. But if you found somebody selling these tickets, I mean, they would sell out, you know, just like that. And I'm not knocking it by any stretch of the imagination, because it is very exciting. And I know we love to have, or at one point, a big deal was to have vintage ephemera or fodder, you know, in your junk journals. And so you wanted to have, not things that have been recently manufactured or made to look like vintage paper, kind of like this. I think I got this from Temu, which I think this is very, very pretty because it's already, you know, coffee dyed and all of that stuff. But there's a movement, and, you know, sometimes a preference, I'll call it, just to have things that are more so vintage. So with all that being said, you know, I have run the gamut of what I have spent my money on, and a little bit of that the spending is contained in this little tin, and so I'll use that to do a little bit of my journaling. And then I found this little book as I was organizing that I put together when we first started down this wonderful rabbit hole. I was like, you know what, I want to make my own little ephemera keeper. I bought a couple, and I did that, and I just got some of the Tim Holtz paper that everyone, you know, we were all so crazy about. I don't think he makes this paper anymore, or not, you know, not this type of paper. But at one point it was another hot item, and I just, you know, threw together this little, it is, you know, little book. It's nothing, you know, it's not a masterpiece, but at that time I was so proud of it. And it's just like a little trapper keeper to keep some of the, you know, ephemera that we use to put inside of our journals, and different little sayings. The sayings are a big thing. More tickets and labels and little information and tags and stuff that you, mom's the bomb. I don't know where I found this. It says mom's the bomb. Let me see if you can find it. If you can see it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you see it, but you can kind of see it there. But that's true. It's absolutely true. I am the bomb. But so many little things in here. And I said all of that to say I want to inspire, or I want to hopefully encourage. That's the word that I'm looking for. Whomever is starting this journey and may have happened upon this video, please don't feel obligated to, you know, spend your money on a lot of vintage, you know, books from the Coca-Cola bottling company. You know, you don't have to have these types of things in your journals. You can use things that, you know, naturally come in the mail. Some of the junk mail. There's so many different artists in this space and creatives that can show you how to leverage free things that come and make them look just like some of these things. Or they don't even have to have that. You can have, you know, a journal full of papers that you just put some paint on, or book pages. You know, I love hardback books. And if you find, you know, a hardback book with a wonderful patina that you don't want to, you know, you may have already read and you don't want to get rid of, but you don't have any really, you know, immediate use for it, you can tear out a couple of those pages, and they are beautiful in your junk journal as a little collage or as pages. You don't have to spend money on Instagram one Saturday morning for canceled checks from 1958. So you have something vintage in your journal. And I mean, if you do, you know, nobody definitely is going to judge. I certainly can't. But, you know, 5 years later, when you look back, you know, is it going to have the same, you know, significance? Maybe, maybe not. You know, you don't need a Uno scorecard. Looks cute, but do you have to have it? Absolutely not. So definitely not trying to be, you know, Debbie Downer or a hater of people who are in the business of selling these things, because I truly still enjoy them. If I see something cute, you know, this Saturday morning, I may purchase it. I just want you to know that it is not at all necessary to get started. This is such a fun thing to do, and it is amazing, no matter how old you are, how the child in you will truly rise up to meet you as you start. So with that being said, I may just put a few things, you know, in this book. I have sat down yet again. Don't even have a glue stick. Let's see if I can roll away without a lot of delay and find some glue, and I have, thank goodness. I like to keep things somewhat by me, but I think it's really interesting how people can kind of just intuitively work. I have never, this is my first time ever attempting to do this, so I don't know if this part of the video will remain when I post it. But you just want to, you know, just kind of do a quick little collage and just see how you can add a little bit of interest to this. I must have put this envelope in here. I think I did it many years ago. I don't even remember when I first got the junk dory. But this was like all red and white, and it's not my jam. I really don't care for primary colors, so I had to kind of push those colors back. And I just did that with a white gel pen. And as you can see, and you cannot because I'm not in frame, let me turn it this way. I have, you know, some of these papers from my little ephemera maker I made, and this is just regular newspaper. You can just take this and just kind of tear you some of that off. And I don't know what it is. I like to decorate and collage if I'm going to do something along this line in threes for some reason. That just seems agreeable to my brain. I watched Dina Wakley in some of her art journaling and painting, and I noticed she does things in odd numbers as well. But it has just always been something that I've done over the years. I feel like it makes more sense than if I was to just leave those two things on there. Like what is that? Is that something, anybody a psychology major or something that can tell me why that is, our brain appreciates that most? If so, please leave me a comment below. I was advised by my girlfriend Tanya that comments were not turned on initially on my other videos, so I appreciate you, Tanya, for telling me that. Hopefully you guys can comment now. And in addition to commenting, if you will please like and subscribe. I'm new to asking for that, but if you would do that, I would greatly appreciate it. It is encouraging to have people not only view your video, but to take the time to like and subscribe. Even when I watch YouTube on television, I will still like and subscribe even from the TV, and it's not really that easy. But you know, when people sit down and do stuff, everyone wants some acknowledgement that they're not, you know, that they're not wasting their time, that people are enjoying or finding some interest in what they're doing. So see, that's just like a little quick collage that we put on there, and yay, I did it on YouTube. Not just not a voiceover or anything, and nothing's wrong with that, but you know, in real time, because it's tough to continue to figure out what you're trying to say. At least with the miles on my brain, and then keep working. So this is kind of the, you know, just something simple that we do to add interest to our pages. And so as you know, once you get your journal and you have all of these different types of substrates in your journals, things from books, you know, magazines, where we'd have lists, dot grid, whatever it is, you can put color, you can put, you know, collage. There's a lot of different things that you can do to these pages. Okay, so I just wanted to drop in really quickly and say hello, and hopefully the orientation is a little bit better today, and I'll be back soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.